Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a lovely sparkly carnival headdress, and this is for you so that you can strut your stuff in the parade at Bath Carnival. What you will need to make these headdresses is ideally a glue gun, hot glue, and some glue sticks. If you don't have a glue gun, then you could also use some other quite strong adhesive. Pritt Stick do like multi-usage adhesive, which is pretty good. It's just it will take a little bit longer to dry, whereas the glue gun kind of dries instantly and it's a lot of a stronger fix, but this stuff will do. We'll also need some PVA glue, a really good pair of scissors, some fabric scissors if you've got them, a stapler, a pretty sturdy stapler with some staples. Yeah, that's it for tools. You should have your headdress kit, and in your headdress kit you will have your three main pieces, which are this little arc which goes across the top of the head, this piece here which is your front piece for the headdress, and then this long rectangle which is going to hold it all together. So what we want to do first is we want to cover these pieces in fabric, in some brightly coloured fabric. So for our headdress, for this tutorial, we've used these really lovely oranges and reds and golds because these are my favourite colours, really rich, fiery colours. We've got a selection of braid and trim here, all in that colour scheme, but your kit might vary slightly. You might have more silvers and blues or greens and pinks, so just use whatever fabrics and materials you've got to hand. You can also choose your own colour scheme and add in any bits you've got lying around at home. So the first thing we want to do is get some PVA glue and take the arch piece and just cover it in glue. Just spread it out pretty evenly. So there we go, so that's fully covered in glue. Take a piece of fabric. In this case I'm going to use the red piece, and just place that down on top of your fabric. Press it down. Okay, so that's just stuck onto your fabric, and leave that to dry. Do the same with your front piece, this piece here. Cover it in glue. Just make sure it's nice and evenly spread. It can be fairly thinly spread, it doesn't have to be too thick. There we go. And I'm choosing a contrasting colour here, which ties in with our colour scheme, but it's different colour to the arch piece, just for a bit of variety. Again, stick that down like that. So you've just got your two pieces which have been glued onto your fabric. You can put them to one side and leave them to dry. And when they've dried on, then you just need to take your scissors and trim all the way around the edge. Trim off all the excess fabric. Okay, so you've got a nice neat covered front piece, and then do the same with your other piece. Don't worry if the glue has seeped through the fabric a bit and you've got some blobs, because we're going to be covering it up with braid and trim, so don't worry about that too much. And then just cut, again, just cut around, right around the edges. Okay, so now you've got your arc piece and the front piece for the head. The one piece you haven't covered is this middle piece, so you want to take this piece and you want to cut some notches into it, I'd say about 1 centimetre in, and maybe 1 to 2 centimetres apart, all the way along the piece. So, like that. And then we're going to take this piece, get your stapler, staple it onto the front piece like this. Okay, bend that over, take it over to the other side, you just staple it there on the inside. Okay, and then what you're going to do, where you've cut your little notches, you're just going to turn these little pieces back like that, and then you're going to grab your this little arc piece that you've made and just pop it on the top like that, and that will sit over where you've put your notches. You press it right up against the notches and get your stapler, and you're going to just staple it into place. So you could put a staple on every single notch if you want it to be really secure, or you could do every other notch, but just make sure that it's pretty well stapled all the way around. Okay, so you can see already you have the basis for your headdress structure. The next step is to decorate the arc piece of your headdress. Now in your kit you should have some either coloured paper or sticky back plastic. I've got some yellow and some gold here. So take your sticky back plastic and start cutting it into shapes. I'm going for triangles because I like triangles and they're quick and easy to do. They look really striking, but again, you can personalise it. You can do any shape you want. Stick them onto your headdress. This piece here. Okay, there we go. So that's what it will look like when it's done, when you've got all your triangles on. And the next thing you want to do is finish it off really nicely with a piece of coloured braid. So I'm going to do this with some orange braid. This is where you're going to need your glue gun. But again, like I said, if you don't have a glue gun, just use some other pretty strong adhesive. You can also use a stapler and staple your braid on. But yeah, careful if you're using a glue gun because it does get really, really hot. Obviously, don't let little kids do this. So just put a little line of glue around the edges, pull the braid across, and press down. Okay, and then when you get to the end, just trim it off. You can also put a piece going around the inside of the headdress. So I'm going to put gold on that bit. Okay, that's what that will look like when that's done, and you've got your braid on the top and the bottom piece of the arch. The next step is to decorate this front piece. So again, grab a piece of braid. I'm going to go for red this time to contrast with the yellow, and get your glue gun, little line of glue. Okay, so once you have your headdress nicely trimmed with your braid, the next step is to decorate it using some really big shapes. We've got some jam jar lids, which is a really great material for decorating headdresses. They're a really lovely gold colour. You can collect these if you've got them at home. We found a whole load in the scrap store. We've also got, there's some plastic discs. You can even just cut your own shapes out of cards. So I've just cut some circles out of gold card. But seeing as we've got these lovely jam jar lids, I'm going to use these for decoration. So we want to trim these. So I'm going to make a piece to go on the front, just there. So if we get some, I'm going to put a bit of bobble trim around the middle. Again, get your hot glue and around the edge of the jam jar lid, start putting your glue and blobbing it on. Go, just going to snip that there. So we've like funked up our jam jar lid a little bit. You could also get gemstone You should find some in your kit. Again, a little blob of hot glue should do the job. And then pop it in. There we go. So there we go, that's a nice central piece to decorate your headdress. So that one's going to go in the middle, and then you're going to make some to go around this piece here. So again, grab your jam jar lid or disc or whatever you've got, get a bit of trim and hot glue around the edges. Just careful here not to burn yourself, and just slowly glue around the edges of the lid. Okay, when you get to the ends, just trim it. Okay, so that's that. You're going to need 4 pieces like this, but luckily here's some I made earlier. So you've now got your central piece there and your 4 decorative pieces. Oh yeah, there was another tip. This is a jam jar lid that I just put some PVA glue on and shook a load of glitter in the middle, which gives that really rich sort of gold textured effect. Yeah, like I say, just be as creative as you want with it. So if you've got any glitter lying about at home or anything else you'd like to put in the middle of that, some old jewellery, go for it. Just be really creative with it and really personalise it and make it your own. I'm just going to use these ones. For this piece, you just need to put hot glue around half of your jam jar lid, because it's only that half which is going to stick onto the headdress. So if we just pop it on like that, so just press it down for a few seconds to make sure it sets. And then you want to just take these ones, and again you can just decide where you want them to be. I like to do one on each corner, a couple in the middle, and again just hot glue around about half of the jam jar lid like this. Stick it on, just press it down, apply a bit of light pressure just for a few seconds to let it set. Do the other side. And take your 2 middle pieces, decide where you want to put them. So I'm saying about there. Glue it on, okay. Yeah, now you have your almost completed headdress. The next step is to add feathers. So you should have 3 feathers in your Carnival Headdress kit. I'm going to use these ones here. And again, it's entirely up to you where you decide to put your feathers. You just want to put a little bit of hot glue along the stem, just there along the base of the stem of the feather, and pop it on like that. Just press it down lightly on the back, and do it on the other 2. One there. So personally, I think you can never have too many feathers on a carnival headdress. So if you've got any more lying about at home, or if you want to go and buy any, they're pretty easy to get hold of in a craft shop. Cover the whole thing in feathers if you feel like doing that. A little trick you can do with feathers as well, if you want to get a bit of shape to them, is you can lightly curl them. So if you get a pair of scissors, open it up, and you just run it along the stem like that, then you can see you can just give a bit of a curl to the feathers so they have a little bit of shape. You see, they're sort of curling out a bit, which looks nice. So that is basically it. The very final step will be just popping a bit of elastic around the back. So you can use one of these, it's a rotary hole punch, or you can also just use a normal hole punch, like a stationary hole punch, but it needs to be fairly sturdy because you're going to punch a hole through your layers of card just there on each side. So a hole on that side and a hole on this side, and grab a piece of elastic, just cut it down. That's going to be too long, so yeah, about that long, and you're just going to feed it through on that side. There we go. And then you just tie it into a knot on the other side. And voila, there you have it, your beautiful carnival headdress. What's so great about them is they'll fit any size because they're elasticated, so you can just pop them on, and there you go. So if you would like to come and join our Carnival Mass Camp costume making workshops, check the Bath Carnival website. We will be taking over a space in Bath in the week leading up to Carnival, and you'll have the opportunity, if you want to use our glue guns, staplers, we'll have loads of materials, braid and trim. So if you're struggling to do this at home, just check the Bath Carnival website, come along to our Mass Camp Carnival costume making workshops, and get involved.